Morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Is there any disclosure of pecuniary interest? Seeing none. We have two delegations this morning. Please be advised that in accordance with the council's procedural bylaw, no decision will be made on the delegations. The committee will do one of the following: refer the matter to staff for a report, refer the matter to future budget deliberations, or take no action. And our first presenter is Marissa Caldwell, Small Business Center Office and Programs Coordinator, Small Business Center of Barrie, Simcoe County, and Orillia. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning. Thank you so much for having me, council and committee members. I am here from the Small Business Center of Barrie, Simcoe County, and Orillia. And I'm just here to introduce ourselves, tell you a little bit about our services, and you can get on with your meeting after Jim and I finish up from here. Can you go to the next slide, please?
Hi, Marissa. Can you see the slides?
I can, yes.
Okay. We're having technical difficulties on our
no problem. Would you, for time's sake, would you like me to just keep going or?
Yes, for now, if you can. And
sure.
Then we'll add them in when we can. Sorry about that.
Perfect. No, not a problem at all. So the Small Business Center is part of a network of over 50 small business centers across Ontario, and we provide entrepreneurs with training and resources to help them start and grow their businesses. We're supported by the City of Barrie and the Province of Ontario, so we do serve all of Simcoe County, and our team provides resources, guidance, and connections free of charge. So that is one of my favorite things about our center, is that all the resources we offer are at no cost. So there's no barrier to access them in that way. In the slides, there's a cute little picture of myself and my team members, Crystal, who's the manager of our center, and Kristen, who is our head consultation person and also is the facilitator of our programs. Who we serve is entrepreneurs exploring entrepreneurship, people that maybe are thinking entrepreneurship might be the right route for them. They think they might have a good idea and they're looking for a little bit of guidance. We also serve entrepreneurs who are starting a small business. So they have an idea, they're ready to go. Maybe they've registered their business name and they're looking for the next steps from there. And we also help entrepreneurs who are growing their business as well. So most of our clients are within their first 5 years of business, but we can help entrepreneurs at any stage if they are encountering obstacles or they've hit a little bit of a ceiling and they're looking at how to grow from there. We can help with strategies for that as well. So how do we support small business owners and entrepreneurs? We offer free consultations and advice, one-on-one meetings and refining of business plans, as well as workshops and webinars on the writing of business plans, as well as other small business topics. We can provide insight on regulatory requirements, so things like business licenses, permits, working with the city to make sure zoning's okay, that kind of thing. We also do referrals to professional services and other business connections, like other organizations in our small business ecosystem in Simcoe County. And we provide networking, mentoring, and training opportunities. And we also deliver the Summer Company and Starter Company Plus programs. Starter Company Plus provides mentorship and training to entrepreneurs who are starting, growing, or buying a business. Participant entrepreneurs may have an opportunity to apply for a grant of $5,000, and they really spend their 8 to 10 weeks in those training programs, refining and building a very robust and fundable business plan. Starter Company Plus would be for what we call full-time entrepreneurs, so individuals that are not students and are looking to work on their business full-time or are already working on their business full-time. Summer Company, on the other hand, provides accepted students and youth between the ages of 15 to 29 with mentors, business training, and up to $3,000 in grant funding to start and run their own business as their full-time summer job. The main requirement for this program is that the youth in question is returning to school in the fall, whatever that might look like for them. We can help them run their own business as their summer job for the summer in a very supported kind of dip your toes into entrepreneurship and see if it's the right fit for you kind of environment. So a little deeper into Starter Company Plus, we have a wait list going right now for the 2026 cohort applications. That's going to launch in early winter 2026, probably January or February. As I mentioned, it's a training and mentorship program. Usually it's 8 to 10 weeks. And people that complete the program have the opportunity to apply for an external grant committee review of their business plan that they write during the program. And the grant committee can grant them up to $5,000 in micro grant funding. And more information about that program is available on our website. An example of a graduate from the program is Andrew. He runs justsimcoe.ca. It's a local online e-commerce platform where you can shop and get same-day delivery from Simcoe County local businesses, very much like Amazon, but a local business opportunity for local makers and artisans and that kind of thing instead. And we've got a cute little quote here from Andrew and said, "I've failed many times in different ventures, but each time it gets easier to bounce back. It's taught me resilience and how to adjust quickly." Andrew is one of our great program grads, and we're very excited to see where justsimcoe.ca grows from here. Summer Company. Applications open usually in the late winter or early spring of each year, and students apply by submitting a business plan. We provide a template with a question and answer format, as well as general approximate cash flow statements. We really ask the students to be ready to hit the ground running when it comes to Summer Company, because we want them to be able to use as much of the summer as they can, really running their business, and of course, making as much money as they can to fund their further studies. So the way the grant works is it's split up between $1,500 upfront to help with startup costs, and then up to $1,500 upon successful completion of the program mid to late August. They receive training and mentorship from local business leaders as well as from our center, and there's more information on our website about that as well. We also offer monthly what we call learning labs. They're free virtual workshops with key industry experts on relevant topics each month. And our full calendar is on our website, investbarrie.ca/smallbusinesscenter/events. And just a quick note about our one-on-one consultations. These are really one of the favorite services that we like to offer. They take the form that's most convenient for the client. So they can be phone, video, on Zoom, or in person at the Sandbox Center. We're located on the second floor of the bus terminal in downtown Barrie, and can be booked on the client's schedule after completing a short client intake form, just to let us know who they are, what their plans are, and what their business looks like currently. We focus on their needs, from feedback on business plans to brainstorming strategies to guiding toward immediate next steps. And our free consultations are just a really great way of accessing a sounding board, getting that little bit of extra helpful direction or an informed second opinion, and you leave hopefully a little clearer than when you walk in the door about wherever you're going in your entrepreneurial journey from here. And we're always open to build our referral network as well, so feel free to connect with us if you are working in the entrepreneurial sector as well. And that's it for me. Thank you so much. You can contact us by phone or email to access our resources. And if you have any questions, our email is smallbusiness@barrie.ca. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much for the presentation. Well done. And members of the committee have any questions? I do. You had a slide there where you help with CRA. Anytime that I've tried to access CRA, I spend hours on the phone. Do you have any secrets how we can make that quicker? Because it's very frustrating.
Absolutely. I completely understand that. If it is very general tax questions, sometimes that's information that we might have just through experience with other clients so far. If it is specific to your situation, there is the CRA Officer Liaison Service that specifically provides free tax help for entrepreneurs and small business owners. Usually if it's a very specific and or maybe complicated tax question, we would refer you to there. We also have a couple professional referrals that we can do to bookkeepers or accountants that might also be able to provide you with a little bit of guidance and help you figure out next steps too.
Perfect. So the entrepreneurs that you help move along, do you follow up years later to see where they're at, how they're making out? Are they still in business? any data that you have with that?
Yes, one of the ways that we receive funding from the province of Ontario and the city of Barrie as well is by reporting what we call outcome metrics. So we do follow-ups every 3, 6, and 9 months. And then hopefully people are also coming back to us at different points in their entrepreneurial journey as well. So we do try to track metrics such as businesses expanded, businesses started, jobs created, that kind of thing. It can be a little nuanced, and we don't always hear back from the businesses that we helped at certain stages, but we do have a lot of repeat clients that come back year after year for whatever they're encountering at the moment, and it's really neat to be involved in their journey and watch them grow. So we do have some stats that way for sure.
Very nice. The other question I see, our Attorney General was in one of the photos, Doug Downey. It's nice to see that he's supporting you as well. May I ask, how long has this been up and running for the city of Barrie?
Absolutely. I started last year, but I can tell you that the Small Business Center has been in operation for at least 10. I think it's getting close to 15. I'm not exactly sure.
Perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good morning. Any questions? Okay. Do we have, and thank you very much for the presentation. Well done. Do you have a motion, Becky?
I do have a motion. The delegation from Marissa, Caldwell, Small Business Center Office and Programs Coordinator from the Small Business Center, Barrie, Simcoe County, and Orillia be received for information.
Thank you. Moving our seconder, please. Moved by Chad, second by Alan. All in favor? That's carried. On. Jim Fitzgerald, General Manager, Orillia Area and Community Development Corporation. Welcome, Jim.
Good morning, everyone. I'm just going to wait for just one moment. If Becky, you're queuing up the presentation.
Yes, just one sec.
In the interest of time, I will start speaking, and then we'll just follow along with the presentation when it comes up there. Good morning. I'm Jim Fitzgerald, so I'm the General Manager at the Orillia Area CDC. CDC standing for Community Development Corporation. We are part of a broader network of community futures programs which run across the country. That group of people is our lovely folks from our office, with the exception of one, the person to my left, Susan Stacy, just retired a couple of weeks ago, so I have to update that picture. We're sad to see her go. Was a staple here in the area for over a dozen years. So sad to see her go, but happy for anyone who gets to achieve that retirement stage. As I mentioned, we're at 267 offices across the country, largely focused on what the federal government determines as rural areas. So for us, the Orillia area includes the township of Severn, also Oromodonte, Rama, and Ramera, and of course the city of Orillia. So that's the catchment area that we operate in. Becky, if you could move to the next slide, please. The Community Futures platform has been up and running for over 40 years. It was the brainchild of Brian Mulrooney back in the 80s when they noticed that there was a gap, and small business and entrepreneurship was underserviced in rural communities across the country. And some data there, which I appreciated that question earlier. I'm a bit of a data nerd myself. Over a 40-year history, we have some stats there to be able to show that folks that deal with the Community Futures platform, this is specific to our lending portfolio, achieve greater growth and have better success rates as a business. And this is over 40 years. So this is actual real data, not just anecdotal stuff from this past year. So very happy to be able to show that. On to the next slide, Becky, please. We are located on Peter Street in Orillia, so Peter Street in Mississauga, if any of you are around that area, right across the road from the building that burnt down back in January. So it was an interesting sight to be able to see that happen, but it does appear to be kind of reestablishing. So it's nice to be able to see that every morning when I look out the window. Our organization here was established in 1984, and we're here to provide coaching, training, support for small business. And largely our focus or our mandate is around business success, job creation, economic development, a lot of the things that, that we kind of all know within the small business community. Every time a small business succeeds or grows, everyone benefits from that. We also focus on the not-for-profit community as well, which is somewhere that I have a background in the not-for-profit world myself, so I have a little bit of a flair for that. And it's sometimes it gets a little bit pushed to the background in the small business and entrepreneurship talk, but because of the amount of employment that is involved in our area, and a lot of the services and purchases that are made by our small business community, they're quite a large part of our ecosystem. So we want to make sure that they are supported as well. Next slide, please. So one of the things that we provide here, one-on-one business coaching and advisory services, north of 800 meetings last year, and the big highlighted one in there is free. There's often not a lot of free stuff that you get in the world. So, we want to make sure that we highlight that there is support systems available to our small businesses, to the not-for-profit community. Because often, at least as an entrepreneur, as a sole entrepreneur, often you are everything. You're the owner, operator, CFO, janitor, everything. So any support that you can get that kind of helps to elevate the areas that you might not necessarily be an expert in is something that is there. Marissa talked earlier about CRA, and I know that came up as a question. It's something that we deal with what feels like daily here in our office, and the challenge of trying to even reach them by phone. And then when you reach them by phone, you're often not really getting the advice or counsel that you need. I'm very aware that the federal government funds our program, and so I don't want to slag the CRA too much, but that is the world that we're in. We do find that navigating the online resources is something that we coach around a lot, because a lot of the questions that you have are available online, and sometimes they're just really hard to find. So we have a space here in a side office that's almost exclusively designed for CRA access, helping folks do HST registration or business registration and renewals and all of those sorts of things that people get involved with. We often joke in the office that nobody started a business because they like HST remittance, but it is a necessary function of what you're doing. So you have to make sure that you do it right. Getting on the wrong side of the CRA is generally a good way to have your business fail. So we want to make sure that we provide those services whenever and wherever possible. On to our next slide, please. One of the other pieces that we have noted and has been available here for the past handful of years is employment support systems are really important for a couple of reasons. One is that small businesses are often challenged with being able to attract and retain and pay for staff. That's obviously the hardest piece. As well, youth employment, especially in this area, is probably at an all-time high, or youth unemployment is at an all-time high. So some challenges have existed there. So we have a program called Pathways to Employment that's been running for the past 7 years, since 2018. And we're currently in a funding stream that runs through 2028, where we intake youth, and youth are defined as age 15 to 30, provide them with some training and support systems to be able to get them job ready. So that's a benefit to employers, because you have someone who's maybe just trained up a little bit higher, and then also offer wage subsidies. So this gives an opportunity for an employer to get a youth employed for up to 6 months with the wage subsidy there, $12.25 an hour, and to be able to kind of get them started, get them in there, get them to show their worth, so that then the intention would be that the small business would retain the youth as an employee going forward from there. So over 200 matches over the past handful of years, and currently continuing on with that. Lovely picture there from Fab Style Hair Design here in Orillia. And we have a pretty broad spectrum of folks that have been able to take advantage of this, from hairstyle, retail, manufacturing, not-for-profit, agriculture as well. Had a handful working on farms, which, as a former farm boy myself, I can greatly appreciate that. It's a great skill to have. One of the things that we are challenged with in that program, I guess, just in our current environment and because of lots of factors, the number of employers is the number of employers is greatly less than the number of youth that we have intake. So we actually have a bit of a wait list right now. So if there are any employers that you are aware of that might be able to take advantage of that, please throw them our way, or at least to be able to talk through the program, because there are some youth actively seeking employment, are trained up, and there is wage subsidies available to employers to be able to do that. Rebecca, I keep talking too much. You can move on. One of the core pieces of what the Community Development Corp or the CDC does here is that we have lending available for small business. Loans up to $300,000, and I'll revisit that in a second, that are available here. And when I say decisions made locally, traditional lending platforms in your banking system often has a central risk management adjudication system, largely out of Toronto or Montreal, perhaps. All of our decisions are made here locally, either by me in our office or by an investment committee or our board of directors, all of which are people that you will run into at the coffee shop or wherever. So people that understand the challenges of our local market, people know that what's going on in the townships in Orillia. So it's a real key for us to be able to keep all of those decisions and keep all of that, have a better understanding, I guess, of what we're dealing with and what entrepreneurs are dealing with locally and how we can support that. We offer flexible repayment options. Because we're not, because we're doing loans on an individual basis, we can really tailor the loan that we're doing to fit what the client needs. An example that we had recently was a large piece of machinery that we financed that was a custom piece of equipment. So with that, you've got a down payment or a deposit that needs to be made on this piece of equipment, $150,000, that would then have to be custom made, shipped to a floor here, and then production starts. So there's going to be no revenue generated from that machine for probably 8 to 10 months. So what we did was we structured this in such a way that we were able to finance the machinery, but not take payments for those first 8 months. So until such time as that machine is on the floor and actually generating revenue for the client. It just makes way more sense, quite honestly. We also do lending for not-for-profits as well. It's something that's a little bit different, just because they're typically, not-for-profits are designed to not make a profit. So having funds available for lending is a little bit of a challenge for some of them. But we have programs that are available if the right opportunity is there. On to the next one, please. Currently operating a working capital loan fund, which is a little bit of a specialized program. If small businesses are looking for just working capital, we don't necessarily have to be financing a piece of equipment or the purchase of a building or the sale of a business. This can be just for payroll, general operating costs, those sorts of things. Are available as well. It's up to $75,000, and it must be for a business that's been in operation for at least 18 months. So we're not doing startups with this, but that's something that's available as well. BizLink is something that we've really focused on over the past few years here. I'm sure it's not a surprise to anyone, but the demographic trends are there. The baby boomers are in their 60s or 70s. So the cohort of those that are business owners are largely looking at retiring, transitioning, moving out of their business, or potentially closing up. There's a really large swath of that. So locally here, we've developed a program called BizLink, which has been operating in Simcoe County for a couple of years, or 3 and a bit years now. We've facilitated and helped with 85 different transitions of businesses over that time. So those businesses now are continuing to operate in our area, continuing to employ people, continuing to buy and pay for services. So these are very important things when we take a look at the economic engine of our area. We've very recently, and this was as of yesterday, so you're probably the first people that are even hearing this, we've been approved to be able to license this program out to our Western Ontario region. So from our area here all the way down to Windsor, Niagara, and across that way. So this is something that's going to be expanding out to the Western region, and with the anticipation or the hope that at some point it would become province-wide. So keep keep your ear to that one because there's a lot more to come from that. With BizLink as well, one of the things that we do provide is that we're not acting as a broker in this situation. We're not actually linking buyers and sellers. What we're doing is we are bringing buyers and sellers education level up to the area that they need. So if you have someone who is looking to sell a business, we can coach them on what they need to do in order to get it actually properly ready for sale. How can you maximize the purchase price? If maximizing the purchase price is the right thing for you, sometimes it's just facilitating the fastest and easiest way out. And similarly for buyers, making sure that they're aware of what the risks are, what it is that they need to consider. How do you link them up with the proper accountants, lawyers, etc. And then potentially, because we have a lending platform, potentially we can finance the purchase of the business as well. That's something that we do, actually just finishing one off, probably maybe then at the end of this week or early next. So those things are available as well through the BizLink program. On to the next one. Oh yeah, so I do have some examples here. There's a couple of folks that both of those slides, Becky, you can skip through. I talk too much sometimes. But these are some local examples of the BizLink program and some successes that we've had here. There's a QR code that's left here along with our website, phone number. The QR code there is to sign up for our newsletter. And I say this as someone who despises signing up for things that I get emails from Canadian Tire or the Gap or wherever. I really strongly encourage everyone to sign up for our newsletter. We do not inundate you with, daily emails and features and sales and that sort of thing. A newsletter may go out every couple of months whenever there's something pertinent or important. But sometimes the information that we send out is very timely, either because there's a deadline or something to it. So if you're on our newsletter list, you'll get those in a timely fashion and be able to get the support that you need from there. So would encourage you to do that or to give us a call, drop into the office on Peter Street. You've got my name. There's my address. Come see me anytime.
Thank you, Jim. Great presentation. And yeah, thank you for all the work that you do, you and your team. Any questions, committee? No? I won't say anything. You did a good job.
Thank you.
Do we have a motion, Becky, please?
We do have a motion. The delegation from Jim pardon? Fitzpatrick my mouth is totally gone today. General manager of the Orillia Area Community Development Corporation be received for information.
Move on a seconder, please. I'm sorry, I've forgotten your name. Heather, I thought it was. Moved by Heather and second by Alan. All in favor? That's carried. Thank you. Thank you to both of you and good luck today. Have a good weekend. Thank you. Moving on to the consent agenda. Are there any items on the consent agenda that need to be pulled? I don't want to pull any, but in that FCM one, the Future of Rural Canada report, there was a lot of paperwork on internet and what and how we need it to survive in rural Ontario. And I know that we've been granted funding. Am I allowed to speak to that during this? We've been granted funding in Severn to provide high-speed internet to everyone by wire, and I'm really struggling. So I have a number in Ottawa, and I'm struggling. I phoned her a zillion times. She is in charge of this, but I can't get an answer from her as to why. She first said to me, she made the mistake of saying that if we could plow the cable down our shoulders of our road, we'd have it done right away. I phoned her back. We don't have any shoulders. Like there's very few roads where there's shoulders. Like you need to go down the ditches. And now she won't answer my calls anymore. Like after reading the FCM report, I took some snapshots of it, of the internet part and what it does and what it needs to happen in rural Ontario. And I'm going to email her and forward those to her. But I'm going to see her, I think, in Ottawa at our conference again. But this time I may not be so nice. But she's avoiding me. Like it's just so needed. Go ahead, Jason.
If I could just speak from a business operator standpoint in Severn Township, And as you know, we recently went through this massive renovation to our main building. So one of the things that they did during the renovation was upgrade all of our technology. And but we're still running off of our same internet system that we had previously. So I'm at the point now where even our accounting system is an online system, and it's slow as molasses. Like we can't even use it right now because of the amount of tech. Switching from a hardline phone system over to a voice over IP system, integrating all sorts of cameras that are running over a Wi-Fi system, integrating new television systems throughout the main building that are all operating off of the internet, is just taking all of our broadband and sucking it away from the administrative duties and tasks that you need to do. And yet you still need to provide a certain amount because of our business. We have to also provide a broadband for our customers as well. So, and they expect a lot higher speeds than what we can give them. So, so it is extremely important, I think, to a lot of businesses, as we are all functioning in this modern day world, where the tech is moving so fast. We just have to keep up with it. But we are hindered by things like the slower speeds in the internet. So
Thank you, Jason. And it's not like we've reached out, we've tried. The funding is there's a disconnect somewhere, because there's the SWIFT program. I don't know if anyone remembers the SWIFT program. So I do have a friend down there that I've called. Something's wrong, and he doesn't know what it is, but the funding has been there. We were supposed to have it all done this year, and there's only 5 more months, right? It's not going to get done. And now that Cheryl has sort of not answered, it's been 2 weeks, and I phone her every day and leave a nice message, a very nice message. But I'm going to take this back after what I read here, and I've got some Photoshop, and it is ultimately
very important.
It's more important than some of the other infrastructures. Like, we need it. Absolutely. We need it. Yeah. Alan, go ahead.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, though, the biggest thing is this burying of the lines has happened throughout rural Ontario. It doesn't mean connectivity. And I guess if in what's happening in the US, maybe it's back on with Elon Musk, but wireless internet's probably the future. So it's really hard for them to give these grants out to bury these lines, and then what? We're going to rip them out in 5 years, or they're just going to be in the ground.
What I'm hearing is that if, like, I know we had one up here on Canal Road, so just where the Severn River is, and it took 2 years, but they were fighting amongst themselves. Like, the contractor, something happened, the lines were buried. Now I'm hearing that Rogers will run down one side and Bell will run down the other side. Like there's something wrong. If the feds in the province are giving out money, they need to get their ducks in a row as to how they fund this stuff, because it just isn't fair. Unless Becky knows something, it's just very frustrating when we need it. We need it, and we have Rogers, because I have high-speed Rogers, but anything along the highway number 11 corridor has Rogers high speed, right? So in our township, the lines are all straight. Like, it isn't rocket science to run it, right? But anyways, I'll just keep poking
I
away.
have one thing I'd say, that I pay for 2 internets. That's why I was wondering, do you pay for 2 internets? Like, I pay for Am Telecom, which used to be Am Telecom, it's now Eastlink, and I pay for Starlink. If one goes out, I have the opposite. I have.
To your point, but you know what? In today's world, when there's funding that the upper levels of government are giving, and they understand that we need it,
Is it DSL? How are they doing it?
I'm not sure.
Is it?
Do you know, Becky? I don't know.
Sorry. I don't know a great deal about it. I'm not an internet savvy person, but I do know that it was supposed to be actual physical fiber lines going in.
Fiber
Lines going in.
Fiber lines going through, like down, like Irish line where
We have fiber lines that are now coming through out Sparrow Lake Road.
Yes,
I can attest to that, but there's been no guidance or ETA as to when it's going to be hooked up or when it's actually going to be live. You know, from my business perspective, we spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on our own basically our own tower to connect to other wireless towers throughout the area, and just to provide even like a 6 to 12 megabytes per second internet connection for our customers. And so we've had a lot of capital invested in even just to try to get any internet. So we would be very enthused at the arrival of fiber lines, which it seems like the lines are there, but there's no idea as to when it will be live at this point.
So sorry, Jason, did you say I didn't notice anything? There are lines that are buried now?
So the lines that I've seen are on the hydro lines. So
There's
the lines,
a lot of the developments, the
Yeah.
housing developments.
Mhm.
I have people that want to move there
Yeah.
because they have fiber.
Mhm.
They don't have fiber in Oromonte.
Yeah.
They have fiber in.
yes. So the lines that I've seen come in, actually, when I noticed them being installed was actually during the ice storm and the 10-day power outage, because we actually mistook the fiber trucks for hydro trucks because they were working on the hydro lines. But so the lines that I saw were installed in the spring, but we've been trying to follow up to see when they would go live, but I don't have any information on that at this point.
So were they the ones, Jason, that you saw by Weber's? I
believe the trucks were like a light wave or LTE wave.
Yeah, but that was on the highway.
Yes.
Is that tractor that?
Well, there was that as well. There was the hydro, but there was other trucks that were involved that were installing these fiber optic lines, and you can see them sort of hanging from the hydro lines at this point, but they're not attached to anything.
Do you know something that I don't know, Chad?
I can say as of yesterday, on our street, they were starting to trench them into the houses.
Good.
So
That's
it's
good.
coming.
Good.
I believe during the ice storm, like you just mentioned, the lines, because they're overhead, actually were ripped down.
Oh, there you go.
And because I saw a different company there tying that actually does fiber splices.
Yeah.
So I think they were repairing them and now they're back to installing. So hopefully soon.
Hopefully it's coming. Yeah.
Okay, great. Thank you. Any further comments? Okay, do you have a motion? Do we need a motion for the consent agenda, Becky?
Microphone. Yes, that the consent agenda be received.
We're in a seconder, please. Moved by Chad, second by Jason. All in favor? It's carried. Thank you. We adopted the agenda. New and unfinished business. I think, did you want to speak to the film opportunities for our municipality, Becky? Thank you.
So the staff report that was provided is just a high level report on film opportunities in municipalities. So Create Ontario is a provincial agency that has a secure location inventory for where businesses, municipalities, and other organizations can promote unique filming opportunities. And then Film Scouts are able to actually go on the secure site and look. On February 25th of this year, Council approved staff report 25006, which basically created a film policy for the township. This policy allows that our assets can be promoted on the film inventory. It also created a policy about how we will rent land out, the times that it will be used. For example, in Coldwater or Washago, the main streets cannot be rented out on Friday, Saturdays, or holiday Mondays. So we don't affect local businesses. The township, we've added all of our assets onto Ontario Create's website. So we've put on all of our parks, some of our key road ends, different things like that. And one of the things though about film is that having township assets are wonderful, but when a film crew comes, they want to be able to shoot in one location as much as possible. So say Severn or East Simcoe County is their area. They want to be able to stay as close to an area as they can. So we're working with our partners in the East Simcoe County municipalities to get their assets also on, but we also need private property assets to be added. We are working with the county on developing a guidebook for how to put your property on. So like there's all the questions about insurance, what do you charge for rent, understanding all of those logistics. We're working with Simcoe County on a partnership to get that developed. But one of the things that would be great if this committee could start to help develop or help provide me with the information about private assets that could be added to the inventory. So it can be anything, like the most random things can be great assets. It doesn't have to be, you know, that big $1 million house on the water. Of course, those are always wonderful to have on an inventory, but it can also be, I'm thinking from previous work, sometimes like we were asked for a old looking shed. And we literally drove around till we found an old looking shed and we sent them the contact information for the people that owned an old shed. They could be looking for things as simple as, you know, a nice area, a field where they could where they can do a shot of somebody, you know, talking in a field. It can be as simple things like that, that it's extra revenue for a business, it's extra revenue for a resident. And then those businesses, usually they'll stay, they'll use local catering. It's the spin-off that we're really looking for. So if the committee has any ideas of anybody that would be interested, please pass their information. I'd like not live on TV, on Zoom, but if you can pass along their information to me, I'd love to be able to get in touch with them and start the process. I will happily add their information to the Ontario Creates website. They get the email and all the contact all the contact or connections go to them from the Film Scouts, but we can help get their images up.
Thank you. Any questions, committee? Okay. Do we need a motion for that one? Thank you, Becky.
So the motion is that administration report A25-022 dated July 17th, 2025 regarding film opportunities for municipalities be received, and that the Economic Development Advisory Committee members will provide staff with lists and contact information for private property owners that may be interested in adding their assets to the Ontario Creates location inventory.
Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Chad, second by Alan. All in favor? That's carried. Okay, adjournment. Mover and a seconder, please. Moved by Alan, second by Chad. All in favor? That's carried.